Welcome to the Captain's Talk. I'm Timothy Fogg. This is Jordan Ochoa. Today, this is going to be a podcast. Two best friends just talking about sports. All in all.
Two captains.
Two captains of a local soccer team that is sadly retired. But anyways, Jordan, let's get right to it. We're going to start off with this episode with the biggest news of the summer of 2018. LeBron James going to the LA Lakers and the future of the Lakers now. Like, what's gonna happen? What do you expect from LeBron and the Lakers now moving forward?
I think the city is going to demand a title too quickly, as in this season. But I definitely think it was a smart move for LeBron and a better move because the Cavs were on the decline. And the amount of young talent on the Lakers is just crazy. And as you can tell, they surrounded that young talent with more veterans like Lance Stevenson. Other veterans on the team, Rajon Rondo, maybe he can give Lonzo some insight. Same with Lance Stevenson and Brandon Ingram.
I think the future of LA is a building block this next season. They'll make the playoffs, I think for sure. Maybe the Western Conference, maybe even the NBA Finals. In my NBA Finals, I have the Warriors and Boston Celtics this year. But if they want to pass the Warriors, they're gonna have to work more of a team than LeBron did with the Cavaliers.
They're definitely going to need to progress a lot quicker than expected, even with all that young talent, because they don't have the experience that the Warriors do in a playoff situation.
That's also good for LeBron. New talent means new start, new fresh, new everything.
And he can basically build that team any way he wants.
Unlike what happened in Game 1 with J.R. Smith at the end, but apparently we're not allowed to talk about that. A little sip of the tea right there. But sticking with the Cavs, what's gonna happen with the Cavs' future now since LeBron's have left again? They still have all those, I think, amazing players, all-star players.
Let me start with there, Tim. I would not go that far in saying amazing players in the Cavs.
Decent players. They're all-star type
solid people.
quality.
They have a couple solid people, as in Kevin Love if he can perform at a high level.
J.R. Smith,
But he has struggled.
If he can get his group back on. And they also drafted Colin Sexton from Alabama, who I think was, in my opinion, better than Trae Young from Oklahoma, that the Atlanta Hawks picked up.
I'd say they're both very talented players, and I think it was a good pick for the Cavs because they do need to go into rebuild mode. Yes, LeBron left. Kevin Love is a star, but after that, that's really, and Colin Sexton, other than those two players, those two players are the ones I'd say are only the definites. Anyone else could leave or get traded or cut.
How far do you think the Cavs will go this year?
Honestly, I could see them not making it the playoffs this year. Not even at an 8th seed.
I have them as an 8 seed, and they would play.
I think they can.
They have what it takes.
I think they can, but I don't think just because of how much they leaned on LeBron all those seasons he was there.
Basically his whole career.
It's going to be too big of a hole for them to cover up.
Fill. As you saw when LeBron left for Miami, they got Kyrie, and that wasn't big enough until he came back, until they made the finals again, and eventually won. Talking about Miami, Dwayne Wade has just announced his final season with the Miami Heat before retirement. What's some of your favorite moments about the Flash?
It definitely have to be him going to the Cavs. I think that was a very important moment in his career. No. I'd say back to his final run with LeBron and Bosh, Allen. I'd say that was my favorite Wade.
That 2012 team.
That young, athletic Wade, posterizer Wade.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about that.
It's definitely a sad thing. I'm sad about it.
I'm sad about it.
Sad to see him
He
go.
put a lot of personal memories to me because we're from Dallas and I'm a big Dallas Maverick fan. So the 06 finals, 2011 finals, Christmas Day back in 2011 after the NBA lockout. There's so many memories with Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. I just respect him as a player. I think he's one of the greatest of all time.
Definite immediate Hall of Fame.
I'm glad that I grew up watching him, along with these other players that I think we're so lucky to grow up with. And with all this new talent now, like Ben Simmons, we're on our age.
Tatum.
Jason Tatum. I think that's just great for us. I think we were born in the right generation at the right time with all this young talent. And
not biased at all.
The old talent. Ending with basketball, we're gonna go over to America's favorite sport, football. Well, the Josh Gordon trade has really took this week out of us. I mean, we knew this could have happened. I heard a joke about it. Like all the Patriots do is pick up the Browns' cuts, and once again, it's happened. But it's happened as a trade, and you got details of that, right?
Yes, but I think this trade is funny, Tim. How
so?
The Patriots kind of feed off the Browns' cuts, but when they went Garoppolo, Patriots didn't care to even listen. But they're taking all this stuff from the Browns, the worst team in the league last year, the best team in the league. We're not talking about the Eagles. Just stealing players. But in this trade sense, it's a win for both teams, I would say. The Browns were just going to cut him and get nothing, but now they have a chance to get a fifth, and I know a fifth-round draft pick isn't that good of a draft pick, but there's been talents past the fifth round and in the fifth round.
Tom Brady, all of them.
It's rare, it doesn't happen often, but there is a chance you could get a star player out of that. So that's what the Browns get if Josh Gordon plays in 10 games this season. If he doesn't, they get nothing. And then the Patriots just get him as a walk-on trade.
Do you think it's a good move by the Browns with all his off the field troubles?
I'm a Josh Gordon fan. I like Josh Gordon. I think he could be really good in the league if he can stay healthy and not get suspended. Because earlier in his career, 2013, 2014 season, he was a top 5 receiver until injury, suspension, just couldn't get on the field.
And I know there's a lot of questions, but when I first heard about it, the main question that popped into my mind was, is this making room for the Browns to sign Dez Bryant?
I don't think it would be a bad move to sign Dez. It definitely put them in the now, trying to be better now, and they did a little bit of rebuilding with the rookies they've drafted and some of the players they've developed from last year. And I think signing a veteran receiver like Dez.
They picked up Jarvis Landry over the
They got
season.
Landry.
Tyrod Taylor.
He's a young talent, but he's really good. Tyrod.
Picked up Baker
Carlos
Mayfield.
Hyde.
Yeah.
They have a couple veterans on the team, and they also picked up young talent. But I think it would be a good move for Dez because he's not on a team. Free agency. But back to the Patriots trade. I think it could be a good thing. If he's on the field and he has having Tom Brady throw to him and Edelman's not there right now, so they need the wide receiver help because you saw the Jags game.
That was a tough game for them.
More on that later. But but think about it. He had all those yards, 1,600 yards, with Brandon Whedon throwing to him, the old, about 20 different Browns quarterbacks, and he could do well with them. But now he has arguably the best quarterback of all time throwing to him. And with those factors, I don't see how he couldn't be a top 5 receiver if he's healthy and on the field.
I totally agree with you. Just think here with football, we're going to look at these scores that are going to come up to your screen right now. Looking at that Browns game, they did lose and they did fall to 0-2, but I still think they could bounce back, losing to the Saints only by 3 points after almost beating the Steelers, but missed the field goal at the last second in OT. All our games around the league, we had the like Jordan said earlier, Patriots losing to the Jags 31-20. Cowboys getting their first win over the Giants 20-13.
Good division rival.
Good division rival. And Super Bowl champs get their first loss to the hands of Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bucks 27-21. There you go. Next page. There we go. I think the interesting game last week was the Vikings and the Packers, which ended in a tie. But they had chances to win. Both teams had chances to win the game, but they ended in a tie.
See, I watched that game, Tim, and it's funny to me how all that could happen with just missed field goals, and some of them weren't even far field goals from the 20.
Little
And
chickens.
you can't make that play as a. I mean, I know they have a couple of young, rookie, newly wedded kickers, but you got to make that kick to win the game.
All right, and looking at the last score, it's the Rams shutting out the Cardinals 34-0. Looking to next week, or this weekend, I should say, the big games of week 3. I think there's only 2 games on that schedule. Let's start with the Jets and the Browns on Thursday night.
The Jets and Browns game is going to be a definite interesting one because the Jets are on a rise, and the Browns are good and have young talent, but they have lost. They don't have a win yet.
But they do have a tie. They do have a tie.
They do have a tie.
And Cleveland, that's still a win to them, even though they could have won the game. But my thoughts are Jets and Browns, these two organizations have been struggling for years. But now I think
they both have a solid quarterback option now.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
what they both got over the offseason. They got Sam Darnold for the Jets, and he's looked like a pretty good rookie coming out of the draft, doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah, easily. I think
With the team he has, he's doing definitely better than expected.
Yeah, I think these are 2 rising teams that are going to have a really good game. That's why I have them as one of the game of the weeks.
I
think the Browns would take this one. Just barely, though. But it would be a very tight, close game. The next game is the Cowboys versus the Seahawks. Last time these 2 foes meet, it was Christmas Eve, and the gift that the Seahawks gave to us was a big L and not letting us make playoff contention by eliminating us at home.
Instantly does his fate.
This is going to be a very good game, very tough action, but the Seahawks have lost the first 2 games. They just lost to Mac and the Bears Monday night.
I'll say, Tim, they looked terrible in that game. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing, and I understand their defense has a lot of injuries. They have a lot of people
And they're missing
injured.
a lot. They only have 3. They only have 3 defenders from that Super Bowl win, and it looks like Earl Thomas might go to the Cowboys either this season or next season.
Yes, it's clear that he doesn't want to be there. He waited 4 days before the season starting to hold out to try and get on a different team.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not happy playing there, so that's not going to make a good team. The chemistry is going to be off. And you could see that in the game versus the Bears when they just looked lost.
Switching the other head for football, it's the one lower, college football. We had a
Wait, Tim.
big...
We're going to go back to the Cowboys and Seahawks game. Because we need to talk about the Cowboys. It's our favorite team. Not going to be biased, but I see the Cowboys taking this game because they're not coming off of a loss. Their defense looked really well versus the Giants, and that's what the Seahawks struggled with against the Bears. It was the defense, and they just created so many chances for their offense that's why they won the game. And if the Dallas defense can do that again, I can see them taking the win on this high that they're on from
I think
winning the Giants.
that Tavon Austin touchdown, 63-yard touchdown, really boost them to win that game.
I think it shows he has more potential than people thought.
And also welcoming back to the Dallas Cowboys Bryce Butler. which he would be playing.
He
this
made some
week.
plays last season, and
I'm very
personally,
happy.
I'm glad we brought him back.
I'm glad too. All right, going back to college football now. The biggest game, in my opinion, was Ohio State versus TCU. Ohio State just took it to TCU, as we can see the scoreboards right there. Also, another big game. Texas over USC, the big clash of two big schools. And Texas has a double-digit defeat over the number 22 ranked team in the country, the Trojans. LSU beat Auburn on a last-second field goal, 22-21. BYU upset Wisconsin 24-21. And Boise State walked into Oklahoma State and just got confused, and they just not look like themselves like they did for the past two games, and they lost 44-21. But going back to Texas, that a tough loss with Maryland, which I think they should have won the game. They beat Tulsa by one touchdown at home, and they played USC, and they just dominated offense and defense. Everyone's question in the college football world is Texas really back? Are they really back?
I wouldn't go as far as saying they're all the way back to what their used to be glory was. And I just believe that they need to keep moving forward with their talent that they have on the team and not let it go to their heads and just play each game how it is. Yes, Maryland is a team you should definitely that should be a win for the team. So you can't be taking these L's that you shouldn't be taking to teams that you should be beating. And if they can keep it that and then maybe produce some more upsets, then they can very well be back.
Well, they have every right to prove it. Looking into next week, that can really answer our question: is Texas really back? They play number 17 TCU. I think the biggest game next week for Week 4, as you can see on the screen, is number 22 Texas A&M versus the number 1 overall seed Alabama. Tulsa plays Ohio State, and it's going to be Urban Meyer's first game back from the suspension. Stanford plays Oregon, top 25 teams, one of the two of the week, and then Arizona State versus number 10 Washington wraps up college football this week. And switching gears now to, we're about to go to October. Wow, 2018 has really gone fast. Right now, it's middle of September. That means it's the playoff push for October. We're talking about MLB playoff push right there. We have Cleveland and Boston, the only two teams to clinch postseason right now. New York and the Oakland A's are the wild cards for the AL, and the NL is the Brewers and Cardinals. But Jordan, you know the Colorado Rockies only 1.5 games behind that wild card, and they're also 1.5 games back behind the LA Dodgers for the NL West lead. So I expect them to push, but I think Dodgers have been on a late roll lately. I think they'll take it, and I believe the Cardinals will drop, and Colorado Rockies will take that last NL wild card.
Yes, Tim. Yeah, I believe that. But in the past, I'd say the Dodgers have slipped on some games where they shouldn't have slipped on, where they could have gone farther in the playoffs before or done better. So if they don't slip and just keep on this strong pace that they're on, then I can see them going pretty far.
You can see them going pretty far as World Series again. Maybe a rematch from last year, Houston and LA again. You see that happening this year?
I definitely think they have something to prove coming into this season.
Yeah, they do have something to prove. I believe because they lost Game 7 last year.
To an underdog team.
To an underdog team, but
no one saw that coming.
I mean, Houston has all the parts, though. They're not underdogs. I think they're
not
top
no
dogs.
More. I definitely think they're a top contender to go back to the World Series and potentially win it again.
I think that when they acquired Justin Verlander from the Detroit Tigers, I think that's when all the pieces start to fit.
It definitely strengthened their team and made them a more whole.
All right, and we're going to end this show off with NHL preseason has started just the other day. And don't forget NHL season starts October the 2nd or 3rd. I forgot at this particular moment, but I just know the Dallas Stars start off at home against the Phoenix Coyotes at home on October the 4th. Well, that's the show. Thank you for all tuning in.
It's been an interesting one on Captain's Talk today.
It has.
We've had some good times, talked about some good topics.
For the first show in the books, in the
Episode
record
2.
books.
Coming out soon.
Coming out soon. Well, just leave a comment, anything you want. If you want to do a Q&A one day, let us know.
Opinions on our opinions, because we're not right about everything. It's just what we think, and we'd love to hear what you think as well.
So we see you next time on the Captain's Talk.